Hello, my gorgeous friends on the internet. Okay, so today we are going to see how to. We are going to be looking at two things basically, two important things. I think most persons find difficult doing. So first thing is to make payments. So we see how to purchase an item from our application, and then once we purchase that item, we need to store the details to Firebase. Okay, let's say this particular user actually bought an item, then we want to store the details. Okay, to Firebase to say, okay, this user already have this data, so they don't need to buy it again. Okay, like a kind of a purchased collection. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in this particular video. Okay, we're going to see how to purchase items, purchase data. Once you may click on purchase, we'll call the payment gateway to purchase data, and then we'll save the user's data that he purchased to another collection so that only that user can actually receive it. Okay. All right. So this is my Paystack console. So you also want to make sure you're also in your Paystack console as well. Okay, if you don't have it, just go to paystack.com. You should be able to create an account and make sure you're in. I'm currently in live mode because I'm using this account somewhere, so I can toggle it to test mode, but it's still going to work though. So this is the only thing I want you to copy, which is your test public key. Okay, so I'm going to be copying this public key, and make sure you don't use my public key. You can actually create your own, it's free of charge. Okay, so once you get your public key, just copy it, and I think that is it. Just to get it, you go to your left hand side, you see settings, click on settings, then go to API keys and webhook. Okay, so while you're on that, we are going to go over to our project. So right here now I'm going to create a, okay, we already have constant here, so I'm going to create a file called constants or keys.dat. Okay, all right, so inside here I'm going to create a class called constant. I'm going to paste the public key which I just copied. Okay, I'm going to paste it here. So this is the public key which we'll be using. This is a test key, actually it's not for live. It's a test key which we'll be using for this, for testing this stuff. Okay, so right now we got that, and the next thing we're going to do now is to actually create a payment page, which is like a payment provider page that we can use to make the payment, right? Okay, so I'm going to go over here. I already have payments here, so I'm going to call this one payment.dat, and right here I'm going to be creating the payments page. Okay, so I don't know if I'll need your permission to like in order to be fast. I think I've already covered how to make purchases already in your Flutter application. I already covered a Paystack course video tutorial, like how to use Paystack generally in your application, in one of my videos. You might want to check that out to learn more about how it's done. Okay, but I think I need to actually get some few. Okay, just copy some few things here. All right, so that we can actually see how it's done, and also to be fast. Okay, I've already implemented it, so instead of writing it from scratch again, that's going to be tedious. Okay, so basically what is happening here is this. I'm going to explain it. This is make payments page, and we're actually expecting a constructor with three arguments. One is a contest, the email, the image, which is actually the wallpaper image which we want to save, and the amount. Okay, in this case is 500, but since I'm in Nigeria and my currency which I'm using is in naira, so you can change your own to dollar and stuff like that. So you can see what we are accepting: contest, email, and this and this. Then the next thing you need to do, for you to be able to use Paystack dependency, make sure you already have the Paystack Flutter Paystack dependency in your prospect.html file. Okay, so once you have that, you can create the instance of Paystack plugin, Paystack plugin, and I'm using this user ID just to get the email of the user and the user ID of the UID of the user as well. Okay, so I'm getting it from Firebase. Then the next thing I did was to create a charge reference, get the reference, and so if it's iOS or Android, charge from platform datetime.now blah blah blah. This is more like a reference that you generate yourself. Okay, then sometimes, and this reference is actually generated by a backend developer. That is, you have to make a request to get a reference that you use. But in this case, I'm creating it myself. Okay, because there's no form of validation happening on the back end. So this one has to get the card UI, Paystack payments card UI, widget UI. So then we have the number, CVV, expiry month, expiry year, and so most persons actually ask me before now to make a video whereby you can actually make purchases twice, but I wanted to do that, but I actually encountered some error. But I'm going to look that maybe in my next videos I'm going to see how to implement that, because if you do that, once you save the user's details in shared preference, if they just click on it, you just pass the data. Okay, like maybe creating it in this constructor like a CVV name and stuff like that, then you now have to pass it here dynamically, automatically, and the expiry months pass them here, and then once you display it automatically to just pre-feed the Paystack uh, widgets. Okay, then you can see the name we are passing user dot display name, right? Then here now we have the future initialize plugin, and then await Paystack dot initialize, then the public key, so we are changing the public key here. Okay, so if you want to actually go live, if you want to go live, this should be public key, Paystack key. So if you want to go live in your app, you have to change this test key to a live key. Okay, that's just the only thing you need to do. Then get charge and payment. So this is the price. I have to add some, to convert it properly. And initialize plugin amount. We, since it's in base currency, so we have to multiply by 100, and then the default currency, which is naira. The email of the user is also passed, and then we have the get card from UI and stuff like that. Then the charge, the response. So this is like calling await paystack.checkout, the contest, the payment method in our case is card. So you can use if you say bank, okay, selectable or bank transfer, but in our case we're just using card. Then the charge, we are passing this charge there. And then full screen, I just set it to false. Let it just be like a dialogue. Okay, then the response message. So if response was successful, this is where we actually get the user's receipt, and then we'll now make a request to store those data in our Firebase, okay, to know that okay, this user already purchased the data. But before we do that, let's first of all and see what will happen here. Then if the response was not successful, we can now have something like a response error here. Okay, so but for now let's do something. Okay, so I'm going to call this payment method now once the user has, once the, if the wallpaper is paid. Okay, so we are going to call the make payment method. All right, so I'm going to go over to view wallpaper, so you can see here that we had this bottom now. So if widget.price is not equal to now, that means the user needs to pay definitely. So what we can do is just to call the make payment. Okay, then we pass in CTS, which is the contest, and then the amount. So the amount now is coming from widget.data. Yeah, widget.data. So we have .get the price. Then we have the email of the user as well. So I think this email is not really something we want to take from here, right? Because since it's Firebase, okay, so we can actually get the email from this particular this user's auth, right? So what I'm going to do just to remove this email, so we can't really get it here, so it's not a nice practice because we can already get the customer email from there. So I'm just going to remove it, and wherever we have error, we just have to call the user.email. Okay, that's what I'm going to do, like so. Okay, the error is gone. So right here now, I don't think this email is necessary, so we're now only going to have the image. Yeah, the image we want to upload, so it's going to be image, like the image you want to, because we use this image in the terms of maybe saving the user's data. That let's say the user make this purchase, we need to send this particular purchase data to another collection. Okay, so that only that user can access it instead of going again to buy the same data. So I'm going to pass the wallpaper image to that particular page. Okay, and this is not all. We also need to call the charge payment. Okay, so that the payment method can actually show. Okay, so let's just save this. So see what happens now. Once I save it, this is taking a long time. Okay, once I save it, I'm going to click. If I click on this one and click on apply, it's going to just bring up this stuff. Okay, then if I click on this, it's going to show purchase. If I click on this, it's going to open. Okay, I think we have some error. Feed does not, bad state, feed does not exist within document snapshot. Okay, I spelled this image incorrectly, so it should be image like so. Okay, so my bad about that. Okay, let's save it now. So I'm going to, okay, I'm going to save it and try to make the purchase again. And you can see now we have the Paystack and the price has been added there, which is 500 naira. Okay, so let's try to use a test card. 3, 4, 5, 6, and we should have a response. Let's see, success. You can see that success, and charge response has been returned. You can see the CVV, the expiry month, the expiry year, and the type of the card, which is a valve card, and the last 4 digits. The number is not really returning the number. I don't know why. It should be returning the number so that we can actually use it to make a request the next time. So this is the reference, this is the status, and this is the method that we made it to, so verified through. All right, so we have done that, but now we need to do something, saving those data to Firebase, right? Yeah, that should be the goal, saving those data to Firebase, so that like a purchase data that the user already purchased, then we can actually get those data from this particular page, which is this download page, right? First, I'm going to go over to this provider here. So I'm going to create a new provider, and I'll call this one save purchased wallpaper. Okay, so this one is going to help us to save purchase wallpaper. And then to be very fast, I think we already had a similar thing before, so I'm just going to paste this stuff here because we've already done the same thing before. So let's say save purchase provider. So we have the collection, still similar method we did while trying to add a wallpaper. So we have a Firebase store, Firebase a Firestore collection. Then we have another collection. So this one is a different collection, which is purchased wallpaper. Okay, then this is the user ID of the user, and it only takes the wallpaper image. Okay, then here this is the payload, price, user ID, and wallpaper image. Same payload with the other one, but now there's a difference. So I had to use UID so that it would be, this one is not a global data that everybody can access. It's just specific to that particular user with the same UID. So we have products.doc.uid.collection, then we have wallpaper, then that's when we now add the data. So you're going to see this. This is like we are using UID just to separate the data to a particular user and just tying it to a particular user. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do now is actually to save that data once the response is successful, right? So what I'm going to do is to go to save, what is it called, payment. So go down below here now. I'm going to have something like calling the function now, which is save purchase provider dot save. So now you see why I actually had to pass this image down here, which is the wallpaper image. So that means we'll be using it now by passing it here. Okay, so once the image has been added, we can just, once it has been saved, we can just have something like a string to notify the user, okay, wallpaper saved to download. So you can just go to downloads page to actually get the wallpaper. All right, so we're going to save that. Alright, so we'll try to make the purchase again. Okay, let's go back and click on purchase. Okay, so I'm going to add the code. Alright, so once the payment is successful, it's going to make request of the okay, wallpaper saved to downloads, right? So let's go check the data if it has been saved already to our console, our Firebase console. So let's go to Firebase Database. You can see to have a different collection again. Here you can see this collection, purchased wallpaper. So if we click on it now, you'll see that it has a UID, which is the user ID, and then it has another collection, which is wallpaper. Then it has the ID of the wallpaper, so you can add as many as you want. Then you can see the price, UID, the wallpaper image. So if we check this wallpaper image, I can see that it's actually going to be the same thing as this one that is here. So let's see if we can open this in a new tab, and you see that it's the same thing. All right, so that's it, guys, how to add. Okay, so you can see how to, it was just so easy how to make purchase, and then save the user's purchase data to another collection in your Firebase database. Okay, so that was easy and cool. So in the next section now, we are going to look at how to display the purchase data, the purchase wallpaper that the user already purchased in the downloads page, which is actually this page here. So we're going to display it in this downloads page, and then we can look at other next steps as well.